Hello everybody and welcome back to the modding related content that I have in store for you guys. It's been a hot minute since I've done some modding related videos, as we all know, but I am ready and back with some more of the most amazing mods to showcase to you guys. Also, don't mind the rain. I feel like all of my videos that I do for mods have like a sunny background, so hey, why not flip it around? So my most watched video on my YouTube channel is currently my expansion mod showcase. And I've made a second episode of this, but there are still so many more expansion mods that you can add into your game. So you guessed it, today I am back with even more expansion mods to show you guys. Now, if this is your first modding related video that you've seen on the channel, here's how it works. I've found a bunch of different mods. I've broken them up into a couple of different categories and I'm going to show them to you and leave links on how to download them all in the description. As always, our quick disclaimer for the video, all of these mods are downloadable through Nexus Mods. There are a few other modding related sites, but I do feel like Nexus is the best one and the one that you're going to find most of the mods on anyway. So you will need to be getting things like Smappy and stuff into your game, and for some things you might need additional mods. So when you go to download this mod into your game, it'll tell you what other mods that you will need to install to make your game run. Hello, it is just post-editing Kitsu just jumping in with another quick disclaimer. Of course, by the time you're probably watching this video, the 1.6 update is released. Do not fret, Smappy has been updated to a 1.6 version and there will be a lot of plans for a lot of these individual mods to be updated to be compatible with 1.6. But just keep it in mind, if the mod does not work, it could be that it has not been made compatible just yet. And just make sure, as always, when you open up your Smappy, it will show all of the mods in your game and it will highlight in red text if they are not compatible at the moment. So then you know where the issue is. Okay, back to the video. But that out of the way, I know what you're here for, so let's get into the categories to start off with. So first of all, we're going to go over our good old game expansion mods. We're then going to cover some stuff to do with the buildings or our house. We are then going to go over some dialogue related mods. We are then going to head onto some character mods and then ending it off just a couple in the crafting and forageables area. Every time I do an expansion mods related video, I try to keep some of the core stuff, but then change it up a little bit. So I hope that you guys like these mods. Anyway, getting straight into it, to start us off, we have Axolotl Village. So this is an expansion related mod that adds in a brand new island full of axolotls that you get to meet and befriend. So currently to this mod, it adds a brand new island, 9 new NPCs, 9 different fish, 40 plus events, 18 different foods and recipes, brand new quests, mail, and so much more. This is also a really recent mod coming out on the 5th of March, so the creator has lots of different things that they want to bring to it and will be updating it constantly. So the story for this mod directly follows the story of the Kin the Axolotl mod. So this really can be in conjunction with that one. It just states that some things that might be said just might not make a total amount of sense if you haven't played the Kin mod, but I still think it is an incredible mod to be able to add. I love the little axolotls and how bright and vibrant this mod pack is. Definitely feel like this is one that you should keep an eye out for. Up next on the list, we have the Northern Gulf. So the Northern Gulf is a village sustained by the nearby waters. This sits to the northern area of Pelican Town and is fully accessible by winding through the mountains up top. This mod pack brings forth 12 brand new NPCs who each have their own special events that unveil their backgrounds, perspectives on life, ideals, and so many new items. This mod also can work alongside Stardew Valley Expanded and also Ridgeside Village, which means that you can continue to have a mega expansion playthrough. But I do think this is a really cool mod. I love the look of some of the NPCs and the different areas that you can explore into. Up next on the list, we have Distant Lands, a small witch swamp expansion. So this is only a small expansion mod to download into your main game. So this does change the look of the vanilla witch swamp map, makes it look more lively and more realistic. Additionally, it adds in brand new endgame NPC, adds in new quests, items, fish, crops, forage, and so much more. So you'll be introduced to a new NPC who is the Goblin. So the Goblin is that henchman guy that you give Void Mayo to as a quest and you never see him again. But he is now in this game. His name is Zik and he fully enjoys his life in the Witch Swamplands. This also works with another mod, which is Electo the Witch, and in conjunction adds in a ton of different dialogue and events and quests. This is, I feel, a really great sort of starter expansion mod, whereas if you're wanting to add a few things but not go really ham, this is definitely a really cool one. And I love the look of it, and it definitely fixes up that witch swamp area. Now we are onto our last mod for the game expansions category, and we have Forever Expansions. So when you load up Stardew Valley, there are a couple of areas that you can't actually reach to. like the parts between Cindersap Forest and the beach, the big green mountain hosting the mines, and so many more. Well, this mod changes all of that. This mod allows you to explore all of those unreachable areas on the world map. So this mod adds in 2 brand new areas, the beach forest. So this is an area between the beach and the Cindersap forest. It includes a ton of custom forage in all the seasons, a sandy cave, and even a mysterious tree. And then we have the mount. So this is an area which contains a lake with mountain fishes, a big old quarry zone, and a ton of pine trees. This also has minecart station in the area that can be unlocked when the area becomes available and you have reached mining level 6. And on that note, the creator has more stuff planned for future versions, like adding in the higher part of the mount as well as the canyon to the west, the hidden grove, a calico vast sandland, mystical secret flower gardens, and so many more. I think this is a really cool mod that just adds on to the base game already, and I just love that we can explore some areas that might not have been explorable to begin with. But that is it for all of our game expansion mods, so we're going to get into our next category, which is buildings and home. Starting us off strong, we have the farmhouse and cabin plots. So this is a really cool one that gives you an expansion inside your home that allows you to plant crops. The size of the farming plots do increase when you upgrade your house, and you will get additional rooms as well. I think this is a really fun idea, and it just makes use of your house. Like, of course we do have a farm, but if you've got like a smaller area, then this can definitely help out. Up next, we have the bigger vanilla slime hutch mod. So this is exactly how it sounds. It just gives you a bigger slime hutch area. It expands the area vastly, so you have more space to have slimes and get all of those materials. There is also options for additional furnishings and even placement options for where you want to place your water. I think this is a really cool one, especially if you're really big on getting your slime hutch in your game, and this is something that you really want to grind out. Up next, we have some of my favorite mods, a greenhouse related mod, and this is Willow's Giant Greenhouse. So this gives you some huge space within your greenhouse to plant crops, trees, and more. This gives you 40 regular 5x5 crop plots, 2 irrigated 5x5 crop plots for stuff like rice and taro root, and 12 3x3 plot crops for things like tea and trellis crops to be planted. There is even some space for you to plant a ton of different fruit trees. I love the greenhouse, and some of the maps that you can get in the base game are quite small or have limited space for you to plant crops. So I absolutely love all of the greenhouse mods that mean that we can do bigger and better things. Coming in next on our list, we have Xidav's Bigger Sheds. This gives you a base shed of 30 x 19 and a shed upgrade of 47 by 25. This makes this shed wider and larger, and additionally you can customize it with wallpaper and flooring. The shed walls additionally also will match the farm type that you have, which is a cool little hidden feature. I love sheds, they're great. You can't go wrong with a bigger shed. And last on our buildings and home list, we have the new building winery mod. This adds a brand new winery building that can be filled with cast to aged products, just like you can do in the farmhouse cellar. There are so many different ways that you can play Stardew Valley, and I really like this idea to sort of get more of your quality related kinds of products. And I love the idea of having a second larger space for it instead of just in your cellar. This is a really cool one. You get to run your own winery, it feels, and I think it's a really great add-on, and it looks really nice on the map. So that is it for all of our buildings and home related mods. We are now on to dialogue stuff. Starting us off, I thought this was a really fun one. This is called Gunther Tells You. So essentially, long story short, you're making Gunther blathers. This essentially gives you an option to allow Gunther to tell you a little bit about the product that you're donating. I think this is a really cool little addition, and it can make for some really interesting facts about all of the artifacts and gems and minerals that you donate. Coming up next, we have the Immersive Unique Children Talk. So for this one, you will need the Unique Children Talk mod prior, but this is essentially an expansion on that mod already, and this will allow your children to talk about your spouse, additionally other NPCs from not only the vanilla game, but Stardew Valley Expanded, Ridgeside Village, and East Carp, and even a couple of standalone NPC mods. This mod adds in over 200 new dialogues. I've not really gone down too far on the children path when it comes to Stardew Valley. I am a farming and fishing kind of gal, but I always found it so weird that they just kind of are kids and they don't do anything. I love that we can now get mods installed into our game to get them to interact and talk and share stories. I think this is a really, really neat mod. Coming up next, we have the Ridgeside Village Happy Birthday Content Pack. Now you can get a sort of happy birthday content pack for a lot of the different mod areas as well as vanilla, but I feel like we gotta shed a bit of love on Ridgeside Village considering how many new NPCs they bring to the game. This mod pretty much allows you to have a birthday and for the characters of Ridgeside Village to talk to you and say happy birthday. There are different events that can happen, brand new dialogue options, even mail with brand new gifts and so much more. As I said before, you can get happy birthday packs for a lot of other mods as well as the vanilla game, but I just think that the way the Ridgeside Village one looks is so cute. Definitely goes very well with that mod. Up next, one that I think we all need is flower dance acceptance responses. I feel like the dialogue is always the same at the flower dance, it's always yes or no, and it's never really exciting or new. And this adds in some brand new dialogue for when a character accepts to dance with you at the flower dance event. So once you do ask a character to dance, they will now respond based on a variety of different factors. There will be different variants of lines from the characters if you manage to get them to 4 hearts. And if you get this all done by year 1, the characters will actually properly react to you managing to dance with them. I feel like it is really cool. It works with a couple of different mods as well. And as the years go on and the amount of times you ask them, there are different factors and they will produce unique lines. I think this is really cool. Again, this is one of those things in the base game that doesn't really change. So I love that we can get some mods to change this up. And lastly, for our dialogue mods, we have a really cool one I saw, which is the Joja Immersion mod. Now, look, I'm no Joja fan, but I feel like the Joja story is incredibly bland. There's just this guy that nobody likes. Pierre's just rattling on about how you should buy his seeds over Joja's. And there is also a tiny bit of convenience of going down a Joja route. It is a lot quicker and a lot easier to unlock the community center through Joja, due to the fact that you just have to buy the bundles, and it can be a lot easier to get money in the early games as opposed to getting these items. So this mod adds in brand new dialogue when you sell your soul to Joja. The only people that really have dialogue is Pierre and Lewis because they act a little bit sad at the start when you buy membership. But then that's kind of it. Everyone just goes about their days. But now this mod adds in more lines of dialogue. Every character now has a minimum of 2 new lines, and this even includes the dwarf. There is also a saga of Shane and Sam now working overtime, Vincent and Jazz wanting to be included, Pierre's conspiracy theories, and so much more. I think this is a really, really cool mod because if I sell my soul to Joja, I kind of want to be the villain and I want everyone to know I'm the villain. I don't want people to like me still. And I feel like there needs to be a little bit of respect for Joja when I sell my soul. That is it for all of our dialogue mods. We're heading to our second last category, which is our characters mod. Now this first one kind of falls in the middle of characters, dialogue, expansions. It's kind of an all-round one, but we have the Clint Mass Shop expansion. So this just essentially expands the products that you can buy at Clint's shop. So you can now buy bars, clay, minerals, geodes, geode minerals, gems, and iridium ore. Of course, they do come with a little bit of a price attached to them. But again, this is just one of those fun mods that can help some people out. Maybe the skull caves aren't for everyone. Maybe you just want to fish every day or take care of your animals and sell your quality stuff. It is very nice and convenient to be able to have somewhere where you can buy all of the resources that you need. Coming up next, we have Sydney. Sydney is a brand new NPC that you can install into your game. And additionally, it adds in a brand new home to Pelican Town's beach for her to live in, as well as, of course, new heart events, dialogue, and more. So Sydney is a marine biologist with a passion for science and environmentalism. She has just moved out of her hometown and she's come on over to help assist Demetrius with his research into the valley's local wildlife. Sydney is kind and empathetic and dutiful. She's super determined to make the valley a better place for everyone. But of course, there must be something behind it. Despite all the smiles, the well wishes, there's something following her. There's a deep melancholy that follows her. Who is she really? She's got some really cool heart events. And also, I won't get into it because it is a bit of a spoiler warning, but if you do want to sort of read into it, check out the page. But it goes through a lot of heavy topics, so a kind of content warning for this one. But I think it's really cool. I think Sydney's an amazing character. She looks gorgeous, and I definitely am excited to learn a bit more about her story. Coming in next, we have another new character, Isaiah. So Isaiah is a museum worker / librarian who moved into the town a couple years before we did. He is super passionate about history and in his free time listens to metal music to wind down. He's a little awkward and shy at the beginning, but he does warm up to you over the course of his heart events. Another cool thing is he has a ton of dialogue about the history and lore of Stardew Valley. I do love that we can get a new character who knows a little bit more about the place that we are, and I think it's cool that if you gift him artifacts, he will tell you really cool stories. It's got some pretty cool hard events and definitely another one that I'm super excited to delve into. Up next, we have Richie. So Richie is Harvey's nephew who has come on down to stay with him. Richie is also a new romanceable NPC. This adds in a new location, many new events, new dialogue, and more. He's pretty much hanging out in Stardew Valley, sort of trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. So that is where you can come in and maybe help him find his place. He's got a lot of energy and can be found all over the town. He enjoys spending his days in a variety of places such as the beach, Pierre's shop, the museum, around town, or in this brand new custom location. We had a total of 8 brand new events for Richie, as well as adding him into a couple of existing events and some festivals, and of course, dialogue lines. I do really love that people make mods for brand new characters that actually relate directly to the base game characters that we have. And I find it really cool that we can add some more things to those characters. Coming up next on this list, we have Masahi. This is another character who moved to Stardew Valley a few years before we did. Nobody knows anything about Masahi, except for the fact that he is half Japanese and was a popular host in his hometown. Having been raised in Japan, he exhibits a really strong affinity for his Japanese culture, which is reflected in things like his polite and somewhat distant demeanor. He often spends time by himself and doesn't seem to hang out with the town people. However, there of course is an exception, us, the farmer. Surprisingly, he takes an interest in us super early on and never misses a chance to maybe flirt with us a little bit. This mod brings in a brand new total of 10 hard events, and of course a ton of new dialogue. This mod additionally does work with our good old trinity of Stardew Valley Expanded, Ridgeside, and Eastcarp. This is a really cool mod. I think Masahi is super cute. I don't know, we don't really find many of the base game characters being like super openly flirty towards us, so it's like a little fun add-on, I feel. And lastly, for our characters mods, we have Biscuit the Puppy. I know it's not really like a person, but it's still kind of a character. So this adds in a brand new NPC puppy for you guys to enjoy in your game. You get to know her and her story, become best buddies, and watch all of her silly antics. This adds in 20 cutscenes and 39 gift scenes, so there is a ton of content to see. Biscuit moves in all the way from Zuzu City, and she gets into a lot of mischief playing with her best friends, Vincent or Dusty. Additionally, depending on who you are friends with or who you were dating, once you get further down the line and become really good friends with Biscuit, you might get some random surprises from her. This is a really cute mod. I love having animals in the game, but our cats and dogs that we have on our farm don't really do much. So I love that there's some more animals that we can get and actually interact with. So that is it for our characters mods. We are ending off this video with our crafting and forageable mods. I've only got 2 in this category to go through, but there's still some great mods to showcase. So starting us off, we have the expanded bush forage overhaul. So in spring, we get introduced to something called salmon berries. And this is something that is hiding on the bush that you get to shake and you get a forageable item from it. But that's kind of it. We don't really get a lot of items that we get to shake off trees, and I think it's a really cool feature that we should be able to have in the game. Well, this one does that. This adds in a bunch of new foraging items solely that go on bushes for each different seasons. You can shake off these bushes for treasures like golden apples, breezeberries, and glistening sweet corn. You can get some vibrant strawberries in spring to exotic pineapples in summer, and of course some hazelnuts in fall. Each shake reveals some brand new kind of foraging that you can incorporate into your game. As I said, I super love shaking the trees. It's such a fun thing to go around and do, and I love that we can add some more things for us to find. And lastly, finishing us off strong, we have Quaint living wildflowers. So this adds in some brand new wildflowers as foragers, complete with things like artisan goods, craftables, hats, shirts, and even more recipes. There are a ton of different wildflowers. Even just skimming through the list, a couple of standout ones, we've got a lily of the valley, things like a primrose, a bee orchid, even a dog rose, sweet violets, lady slipper, and so many more. It also adds in a ton of new artisan goods like baskets, bouquets, and even mead. And you guessed it, even more cooking items like things from tea, a cocktail, salads, and even cake. And as well, you can even tailor the flowers and make some cool fits. I don't know, I think this is just such a cool mod. Adding in some more flowers that you can forage for, gift, and so much more. Well friends, that is it for this video showcasing some of even more of the best expansion mods that you should be getting into your game. Let me know out of this list which one was your favorite, which ones you already have installed, and what is going on the install list. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified about my next uploads. And of course, if you have a category of mods that you want me to showcase, make sure to leave a comment down below so that I can get around to doing your ideas. But on that note, I have a ton of backlog mod related videos to go through. So I will see you all on the next one. Bye everybody.